All right, so here we are with another episode of Minecraft. We're picking up where we sort of left off, back doing some more caving to get some more iron to help with trading. I also, in between episodes, swapped the difficulty level over to hard, so we're actually starting to see some mobs spawning, which is kind of nice because I got a little complacent and was just wandering around, and then I got taken out by a couple of skeletons, so swapping that out helped a little bit. While you're watching this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to hopefully get a little bit further in making our iron farm, but we'll see. There's a bunch of things that I kind of like to do when I'm generally caving, and that's follow a path for the most part and try and reduce the number of mobs spawning in a certain area. I broke that wall down and the water was too high, so we decided to take an alternate route. I like to do it this way just because it just feels more natural, just going down different pathways and stuff, but my one big issue is the fact that I have a tendency to get lost in these things. So just because you go in doesn't mean that you'll be able to find an easy way out. I put up some of the sugarcane so I can start making paper, which is nice, but in that process I did discover that my librarian no longer trades mending. He does level 3 form of protection that I can't remember. I think it's against mainly armored creatures, which is fine, but not mending. I also swapped some beds around so I could start getting some villagers, because I'll, 1, need more librarians, and 2, eventually have to populate my iron farm with our prisoners. So I moved some of the beds around, and I was kind of surprised, which is why I zoomed in a little bit, because he showed up in the evening and I'm just used to them only showing up in the morning, so I was a little weird about that. I'm making the main platform of the iron farm, which is where all the villagers are, and then the iron golems spawn above it. The one thing that was funny was the fact that I forgot how to make an iron farm, and so I ended up having to look at the old video that I had in order to get it to work correctly, which I thought was kind of funny. And while I did it, I saw this little weird thing over there, and I was like, I wonder what that is. So I went and got some wood and made a boat so that we could go exploring, because I wanted to know. I know that based off of the seed, I'm not too far from some of the bigger structures, so I was like, oh, hey, maybe this is something cool that's just like spawned out of it. But it looks like it's just one of those water temple, but not water temple structures where you have like drowns and treasures and stuff. So I just kind of looked around inside of it, poked in, looked at all these different areas to see. It was a little bit weird because some spots had oxygen, some spots didn't. I didn't want to fall in there because I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to get back up and I'd end up drowning. And then I realized that I was drowning because I was still underwater. So we popped back up here, which was a bit of a surprise. And then I heard all these drowns kind of showing up, and I was like, oh my goodness, because I'm looking at all this. But I hadn't seen drowns in Minecraft with these specific shaders on, and so I saw them looking all like weird, and so I quickly looked up what updates there were. I was like, are these new mobs that I've never seen before, because I didn't recognize them. So that's why my shaders are currently turned off, because I quickly looked it up and I was like, no, there haven't been any drowned updates. I'm like, what if one of my mods added in something? Because I try to only do ones that optimize the game and different things like zoom and other stuff. But I quickly turned my shaders off and I looked at the drowns, so I was like, oh no, they're fine. They look just like they normally do. So I went over here after our brief adventure with the drowns to make sure that we hadn't messed anything up. But I came back here to get more wool because we have to make beds for the iron farm and for further populating our village. And then I also discovered that there's this huge, deep water ravine right by the village, which I was unaware of. So we might actually have a lot of common issues with drowns, which was a little bit of a surprise. I then popped over here to pick up some sand because the next layer of the iron farm involves glass. I don't think it's required to have glass. I just like putting glass down because then I can check and make sure that all my villagers are okay. So we grabbed some sand out and then tossed our copper because one day we're going to build another castle because that's what we do here. You can see all my sugar cane. And then went to go get the lava bucket from our infinite source of lava. I want to eventually spread that out so that we have a couple more cauldrons going, but because there are villagers that are going to link to it, I decided that I would wait just a little bit. Then I decided I was going to go kind of exploring over here because I thought I saw this little savanna tree, which we did, which is also kind of nice because that means that we've got a spot where we can get some of these saplings and use it to make our building constructions. So we kind of puttered around over here, and there's also some dark oak, which is nice. So we quickly decided to make a pit stop, get some more copper because we'll need it eventually. I can't imagine what it's going to be like because when we did it in the last seed, we just had a large field that I could just shove all of my copper to oxidize. But here it's a little bit different, although I don't think the roof of the villager house ever did fully oxidize. But I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that I just wasn't over in that area very much. So maybe having it closer will help a little bit. I'll probably end up putting it closer to my iron farm. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. But, oh well. So I think I'll probably explore further over in that area, but probably won't do that until the next episode. But let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a like if you liked the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.